Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. We interview the world's leading apologists to provide credible answers to curious questions.
So give us the real story. Is Islam a religion of peace?
Oh dear, I love this one. I can say this much easier than you can because I'm a pacifist, so I have a stronger viewpoint on this. One of the first, Muslims always say this: Islam means peace. Islam is a fourth form verb with an aleph before it. Salam is a first form verb. Salam does mean peace, but they're completely different forms. And you cannot impose a first form meaning onto a fourth form. Islam has always meant, as long as Arabic has been around, has always meant submission or obedience. It does not mean peace. But let's get to the other question. Are Muslims peaceful? Or is this book a book of peace? Or is Muhammad a man of peace? And the first answer I always give a Muslim, whenever they claim it means peace, I say, show me one verse that's peaceful. Give me one verse of peace. Give me any verse in the Quran that says you're to be peaceful towards me, a Christian, or that even says to love me, or to love your enemy, like we have in the Bible. Show me a verse like that. They can't. And in 30 years, they've not been able to. Now, there are some verses they will go to. They'll go to Surah 2, Ayah 256, for there is no compulsion in religion. Just look at the rest of the verse. Or read the verse right after it, 257. Then you'll see it has nothing to do with peace. This has nothing to do with you or me. It has to do with Muslims. And it says very clearly there's no compulsion in religion, but those who stand against Allah, great will be their perdition in hell. Now tell me if there's no compulsion. Certainly that's nothing to do with me. Then they usually go to Surah 2. They'll go to 190, which says, if you are attacked, defend yourself, but do not go beyond the limits. What limits are they not to go beyond? Just look at the next verse. And slay them wherever ye find them. So how can that be peaceful? If you look at the context. So the verses they come up with have nothing to do with peace. They have nothing to do with peace for us. I'll then usually go to the surahs that are in what we call the Medinan surahs. These are the first part of the Quran, the first half of the Quran, the first 20 surahs. And there's verse after verse after verse of violence. Slay the unbeliever wherever you find them. Besiege them. Lay in wait for them for every kind of ambush. That's Surah 9, Ayah 5. Make war upon the people of the books. That's Surah 9, Ayah 29. Cut off the heads of the unbelievers. That's Surah 47, Ayah 4. And verse 6, which says, and those who participate in jihad, if they should die, great will be their reward in heaven, for they shall be in paradise. Verse after verse. I could give you 149 of these verses in the Medinan surahs, all talking about violence. So is Islam a religion of peace? Not according to the Quran.
What according to the Hadith?
The Hadith are even worse. And that's why Muslims usually very rarely ever go to the Hadith, because the Hadith give you not only do they give you injunctions about using warfare, they'll tell you exactly how to do it and how to rip people apart. It's amazing how specific they get on the violence. The Quran, that's why most Muslims stick to the Quran. So let's just stick with the Quran. The Quran's damaging enough, because this is from God himself. The Hadith are from man. The Quran itself is its own worst enemy when it comes to peace. There is not a verse of peace here. If you want peace, you better come back to this book. Come on home. Come on back to Jesus Christ. A man of peace. I don't know of anybody in the world who's as peaceful as Jesus, who says to put away our sword. Who lives by the sword, dies by the sword. That's my Jesus. And if you want peace, you better come on home.